back, everyone. Last week we talked about the nightmares of Cody Rhodes winning the title. Now the nightmare of Jack Perry's back, of course. And boy, do we have a lot to talk about today. So without further ado, let's get ready to rumble.
I love it when you watch me sing. You spin me around so I can breathe. It's only safe for you and me. I know you won't let me OD. And if I finally die in peace, just wrap my body in these sheets and pour out the gasoline. It don't mean much to me.
Okay, so starting off this episode, we have Rhea Ripley relinquishing her title due to an injury caused by Liv Morgan in their backstage interaction, and a 380-day historic women's reign by Rhea Ripley comes to an end as they will crown a new women's world champion in a battle royal next week on Raw, or actually today on Raw. And I think it was a great reign. I think it didn't have to end like this. But at the same time, it also makes her look stronger because no one beat her for the title. It's the fact that she dropped it because she's hurt. So as soon as she comes back, she'll probably be given a title match. It'll probably be against whoever wins the Battle Royal. I'm banking on Liv Morgan winning that since they're giving her a big push now. But, great title reign from Ripley. Sad to see it end this way, but she'll be back stronger than ever. On the SmackDown side of things, though, actually both shows we've had a couple teasers, but it's pretty much at this point set in stone that Uncle Howdy and a group, maybe the Wyatt Six, are coming back to WWE, consisting of Braun Strowman, Alexa Bliss, maybe even Eric Rowan, maybe even Matt Hardy coming back, who we'll touch on later. And, it's sad to see this all transpire while Bray is obviously, gone. But I think that this was eventually meant to happen, the Wyatt Six, but we had a man who will not be named in charge for a while who didn't make the best decisions sometimes. And I think since Triple H is in charge now, I think this is a great way to honor him. Bo's ready to come back and wreak havoc on the WWE, and I'm excited to see where this run takes us. But moving over to AEW now, we had honestly one of the greatest in-ring wrestling matches in history last night on AEW Dynasty. We had Will Ospreay facing off against Bryan Danielson. Just no stipulation, no title, just straight wrestling. And it was said that Will Ospreay, since he hurt Danielson, he's going to retire the Storm Driver 93. I honestly don't think it's going to happen. I think this is kind of just in the gimmick, but I think it was a great match nonetheless. I think obviously one of the best of all time in ring. The aura of both of them, they were both elevated so much by each other, and this is a match we've been waiting to see for a while with Danielson and Ospreay, because obviously Ospreay's been in New Japan his whole career. Most of his career, Danielson was in WWE, but now they meet in the middle in AEW, have this match, and it delivers just as much as we thought it would and more. But later in that night, in the main event, Samoa Joe versus Swerve Strickland. Swerve Strickland makes history, becomes the 8th champion in AEW history, and the first African-American champion in AEW history. And this is a big change for AEW because Samoa Joe is a great champion, obviously, but this is a turning point. They had a lot of title changes last night. Last night was probably one of the better PLEs we've seen in a while from AEW. And I think this could be a point where Tony Khan, he's not that smart, but he really has to take advantage of these opportunities. And this is the biggest opportunity he's gotten in a while to change things, I'd say, since Wembley. But he has to take advantage of this, do whatever he can to keep his company afloat. And you got to fill the seats, man. I get it. You hide them pretty well on television, but everyone goes on Twitter. They see half of your arena is empty, and that's just not a good look. So you got to be able to put matches and promos on TV that people are going to want to watch enough that they'll buy tickets to go. But we're back. We're here in TNA now, and we had a little bit of a special surprise after Moose defeated Nick Nemeth to retain his title. We had Matt Hardy appearing in TNA for maybe the first time ever, first time in a while, if even. But he's not going to sign there. It was a nice surprise. He's still a free agent. I think he's going to WWE still. But, it was a nice surprise. It was a cool moment. And I 100% think that, I don't think him and Moose are going to have a match. If they do, it's great. But I still don't think Matt Hardy is very good in the ring because of his age progressing. But I think he's going to have that run with Uncle Howdy and that group instead of going to TNA. If he goes to TNA, all the best to him. But I think it's a better decision if he wants to make more out of the last legs of his career to do this and honor Bray, since obviously he was in tag team with him when he was in WWE and the Deleters of Worlds. And I think this is just better for the end of his career to solidify him and maybe his brother, I don't know about his brother, as Hall of Famers in WWE. But we're going back to TNA here for yet another topic. Jack Perry appears back and attacks FTR in their match against the Young Bucks for the AEW tag team titles, which the Young Bucks did end up winning the vacant tag team titles. But, Jack Perry, he was very uninteresting when he was here. Besides Jungle Boy was actually not a bad gig, but when they started doing the whole thing with Hook and the FTR, the FTW title, sorry. He just got very boring. They sent him to New Japan, and the whole CM Punk thing kind of made him interesting somehow. And now he's here, and he has yet another opportunity to make a run. And if this isn't interesting, you just got to let the man go, because you realize at that point he's kind of just worthless to your company. You have way too many superstars on contract, and if you can't make stories with the productive ones or the ones that you bring in now, then, what's the point of keeping them? But our last topic on AEW here is the fact that Forbidden Door will be in Long Island this year. And sadly, WWE fans, I know you all wanted to see it at WrestleMania or sooner, but I think MJF is going back to AEW since, they put this in Long Island for a reason. They want that big pop. Since last time they were in New York for World's End, he lost the title and kind of just got sent away for a while for his injury. But, I think they're going to have a big moment with MJF and the Undisputed Kingdom, and I think MJF comes back here. But back to WWE for our last couple topics of the day. We had confirmed AJ Styles beat LA Knight on SmackDown in the number one contendership match, and he will face Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania Backlash in France, which, I think this is what we all wanted, since we don't want LA Knight to get pushed this early. I think we want him to be made more interesting. This is kind of just quickly jumping into Cody's title reign, and I don't know if him and AJ can make much of a story. We know they can both make great in-ring work together, but we want LA Knight to have a good build-up for his title match, even though we want Cody to hold this for a while. Or at least I think it's best that LA Knight, when he does eventually face Cody, gets built up to the point where you can consider him an actual contender. But the draft is this upcoming Friday for WWE into next week's Monday Night Raw. And I think changes we can see. Obviously, we see Cody going to SmackDown. I think we see the Bloodline stay on SmackDown, honestly. And I think we have the Judgment Day come over to SmackDown. Well, no, they can't, because Damian Priest is the World Heavyweight Champion, so they have to keep him on Raw. But I think we see some changes. I think AJ Styles goes to Raw after his Backlash match. And, a lot of changes could happen here. I'm excited to see what's going to happen. I'm excited to see what surprises we have to announce picks. It's going to be a great night for the WWE. And for our final topic of the night, or of the day, Solo Sikoa takes over the Bloodline as posing as the Tribal Chief right now. And Tama Tonga from New Japan is in WWE officially, and he is part of Solo's bloodline. And obviously in Solo's bloodline, we're going to see probably Jacob Fatu get added sooner or later. And this is all setting up a War Games match where Roman teams up with his cousins, the Usos, and probably Sami Zayn as well to take on Solo's new bloodline, creating even more chaos in the family. I think this is going to be a great build-up. I'm happy to see Solo finally getting big TV time as, a big-time player in the WWE while Roman's gone, and not just have The Rock stay here, obviously since he had to take leave for his new movie. But Solo taking over, taking initiative, and Tama Tonga, big move for WWE since he has been a superstar in New Japan forever, and we've wanted him to be here. Finally, we got the contract done, and he is here in WWE, and he is in the bloodline. Sadly, that'll be all for us this week. Don't worry, though, as next week we'll be back with the newest wrestling news from WWE, AEW, and even TNA. As always, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week on Chairshot Wrestling.